You know, the one glaring thing that came out of the NXT TV taping last night was the fact that Johnny Gargano was, I would say, in the ring receiving a reaction that we are not prone to seeing Johnny Gargano get. You know, a lot of people are claiming that Johnny Gargano has turned heel, or that, which is ridiculous to even think about or say, or that the fans are going to turn against Johnny Gargano for what he did last week with TOMMASO Ciampa winning the NXT Championship. I don't look at it that way. I look at it from two different perspectives. One, TOMMASO Ciampa is a national treasure. The guy is absolutely fucking fantastic at what he does, man. The guy is playing such a great heel that at this point, I would not be surprised if WWE brought TOMMASO Ciampa up to finally get Roman Reigns the reaction that WWE wants. That's how good of a heel he is. The guy, if you are a casual fan and you don't take it as seriously as I do, and you don't dissect the product like I do, TOMMASO Ciampa is a guy playing a villain that is so easy to hate. I don't look at it that way. I look at it as, man, I love this guy's work. This guy's playing a heel villain role the way a heel villain should be played. TOMMASO Ciampa's work has been brilliant. That's number one. Number two, with what Johnny Gargano did last week to inadvertently, and we know he did not mean to do it. He even stated last night that the only reason TOMMASO Ciampa is the NXT champion is because of me, he stated. We all know that Johnny Gargano did not mean to hit Aleister Black. He wanted to stop TOMMASO Ciampa from winning the NXT championship. We all know that. If you are watching NXT on a weekly basis, you know that. If you are a smart fan and aren't a fucking goon, like half of these fucking people are, then you will have seen that. I look at it as, you deserve it, was chanted towards Johnny Gargano last night. Aleister Black gave him a devastating black mass. You deserve it chants rang out from the NXT universe. Number one, I already mentioned TOMMASO Ciampa's heel work, okay? Number two, I look at it as the fans are a strict parent. And Johnny Gargano is the rebellious child who thinks he's right, who wants to grow up too fast. He's going to do things against his parents' orders, and he's going to pay. He's going to fuck up. And that's the way I look at it from what we seen last night. Johnny Gargano went to the dark side. He was a rebellious individual. He was going to do whatever it took to stop TOMMASO Ciampa from winning the championship that he thinks he should have. And he channeled his dark side. He rebelled against his parents. He made a mistake. He did what he thought was right. He did what he wanted to do. He disobeyed his parents' orders, and he paid the fucking consequences. So the crowd last night was just giving Johnny something that he ultimately deserved. You were wrong for your attitude. You were wrong for letting your emotions get to you. You were wrong for sticking your nose in this match and not trusting Aleister Black to get the job done. And you paid for what you did. You deserve it. TOMMASO Ciampa is the NXT champion, and you deserve it right now. And we're going to let you know that. That's all I got out of that segment. But we can't take away from TOMMASO Ciampa and the work that he's done. We've seen the story progress up until this point. The fans aren't turning against Johnny. It's just something that the crowd needed to say to get him back on the right track. Johnny doesn't want the fans to go against him. We all know we're going to side with Johnny come NXT TakeOver. We all know that. So it was just in that moment that the crowd let Johnny Gargano have it. Ultimately, he deserved it. And another aspect I want to keep here with the whole, you deserve it chant that Johnny Gargano received last night. You got to understand that NXT taped this particular set of tapings in one night. So everything that you see as far as crowd and familiarity in the crowd, you're going to see that every week leading up to TakeOver. So that was the same crowd that was last week when TOMMASO Ciampa won the championship. So from a crowd's perspective, you're seeing this. If you're there, if you were at that particular set of tapings, you're seeing everything happen in one sitting. It's not a new crowd. It's not a new city. It's not a new venue. If this was, then Johnny might have received a different reaction. But the fact that that was the same audience that just moments ago seen Ciampa win the championship, still hot, still shocked, still upset, still angry, and then you get that next taping immediately after that, you're ready to go when you see TOMMASO Ciampa come out just shitting all over you, shitting on Grandma NXT out there, which was fantastic, by the way. Talking to the title, caressing the title, talking to the title. I deserve you? Yes, you're right. I do deserve you. Of course you're going to give it that type of reaction. And then when you see Johnny Gargano, you're going to let him have it. Because moments ago, if you're sitting in that taping, you're going to let him have it. So that was still fresh on their minds at Full Sail University. But don't take away from the fact that TOMMASO Ciampa is the best heel in the industry right now. The guy is fantastic. I don't think the guy right now can do no wrong. He's downright untouchable. But I would not sit here and tell you that Johnny Gargano is going to have the fans turn against him. It's not that type of instance or situation. There's a lot of factors that go into that reaction last night, and there's a lot that goes into that chant. I would not sit here and tell you the fans don't want Johnny Gargano to win the championship, because that is the ultimate conclusion to this storyline. There's no better way for this to end. There's no better guy to be champion right now, ultimately, for Johnny Gargano to go through to win that championship. If it would have been Aleister Black, it would have been like, yay, Johnny Gargano's the champion. Now what? If it would have been Almas, which, again, I state it every time, it's very difficult to watch that match in January and not want to give him the championship because the crowd was ready for it. But I knew WWE had the greater story in mind here. There's no greater person right now to be NXT champion than TOMMASO Ciampa, and there's no greater person right now for Johnny Gargano to take that championship away from. The fans aren't turning against Johnny. The fans aren't, gonna hate Johnny. Johnny's not turning heel. Johnny's not gonna come out and get the Jinder Mahal treatment. It is what it is. There's a lot of factors that go into that. And the best analogy for me to compare this to was a rebellious child going against their parents', in this case, the NXT Universe's wishes. The NXT Universe wished Johnny wouldn't have gotten involved. The NXT Universe wanted Aleister to take care of TOMMASO Ciampa. Johnny showed up and threw his 2 cents into the wishing well, and it was not the outcome that he wanted. Just look at it that way. But what happened last night clearly set up the triple threat match. Johnny's there. Aleister Black is there. TOMMASO Ciampa is there. I stated last week when I, in depth, went into the entire match that was that NXT Championship match. I don't know where they're going from here. I really don't even care at this point. I'm in this for the journey. I paid my ticket. I didn't really pay for my NXT ticket. I'm just speaking figuratively here. I paid for my ticket on this Johnny Gargano, TOMMASO Ciampa ride, and I know I'm going to get my money's worth. But the triple threat is happening. It's going to be Black, Gargano, and Ciampa. How that ends, I don't know. All I know is that TOMMASO Ciampa cannot lose the championship in that situation. It's either Ciampa escapes by doing a dastardly deed, embarrassing Johnny further, and Aleister Black gets called up, because I don't know if he's going to get the NXT Championship again at this point. It's not even logical. It doesn't make sense for Aleister Black to get the championship back. He's done. He's done. He's going to get called up. It's going to be Johnny and Ciampa. Ciampa needs to lose the title one-on-one to Johnny. He's not losing it in a triple threat match. So Triple H better be devising a dastardly, demonic plan for Ciampa to walk out and just embrace volcanic heat in Brooklyn. Because that's what I want to see. But the triple threat match is happening. And again, I'm going to state this several times over the next couple of weeks. SummerSlam is actually happening on Saturday, August 18th. Brooklyn. Takeover. What we're getting on August 19th, Sunday, is Summer Scam. So the real SummerSlam is taking place just a night earlier than advertised. Just keep that in mind. And then you guys on Friday can come to High Intensity 7 in New York City, Queens to be exact, for House of Glory's biggest pay-per-view of the year. So there you go. So that is that. I just wanted to get that out of the way. That was the biggest thing on the show. Ciampa cut a unbelievable promo. I mean, the guy is just fantastic at what he does. Again, I will say it every single time. And we'll go over it as we get to the conclusion of this show. That was just the biggest talking point I wanted to tell you. The other talking point is Shayna Baszler and Candice LeRae. Now, some people are already saying that Kairi Sane may be fucked here. And Kairi Sane may be the benefactor of wrong place at the wrong time. And we don't want that to happen to Kairi Sane. The more WWE pushes Candice LeRae, the more people are going to want to see Candice LeRae win that championship because, the underdog babyface role is not often seen in WWE. And if it's seen, it really isn't done right. WWE tried to spin it and have Roman Reigns be the underdog babyface. Clearly, that's complete garbage. Now, you look at a Daniel Bryan. WWE missed the boat on a Ty Dillinger for the underdog babyface. WWE missed the boat on a Sami Zayn underdog babyface. We've seen it with Daniel Bryan. We've seen it with Johnny Gargano. And now we're seeing it with Candice LeRae. And Candice, being the wife of Johnny, they're cut from the same cloth. I'm sure Johnny has taught her things that, could make her a better actor and a better performer in that role. Candice has been doing this for years on the indies. Candice is a sweetheart. Candice has that girl next door look. Candice just has the look and the makeup of someone that you genuinely want to see succeed. Even though, if you didn't know she was married to Johnny Gargano, that's the feeling that we get when we watch someone like her in that role and what makes up a Candice LeRae. The more WWE pushes Candice LeRae, the more that we're going to want to see her win the championship over Shayna Baszler than Kairi Sane. I think WWE might have waited a little bit too long on Kairi Sane, and like I said, she may be the unfortunate benefactor of wrong place at the wrong time. Now WWE is getting Kairi Sane where we need Kairi Sane to be. For a very long time, she's been floating in a sea of mediocrity. And I don't know if it was WWE just waiting for the right moment to push her, or if they didn't have a solid plan for her coming out of last year's Mae Young Classic, or if it was just the hype of Shayna Baszler coming on in, mixed with the Ronda Rousey, and then WWE really honing in on Jessamyn Duke and Marina Shafir, and they were on that MMA 4 horsewomen bandwagon, and they put all their eggs in that basket and kind of excluded, the Bianca Belairs for the moment and the Kairi Sanes, and she got lumped into that unfortunate circumstance. I don't know, but it's definitely apparent that we're getting the Kairi Sane that we thought was going to be introduced to the WWE Universe just a year ago. Kairi Sane looked badass yesterday. Kairi Sane looked badass more so than she's ever looked so far in her NXT tenure. She came out, no bullshit. She wanted to get to Shayna. She wanted to get to Shayna. And she didn't give a shit about anything at all. She didn't give a shit about a possible beatdown from Shayna in that moment. All she wanted was to get her hands on Shayna. And she had the look and the determination of someone who is very pissed. And that's the Kairi Sane that we wanted to see. The Kairi Sane that we got, was something a little different than what we seen when she was on the indies. And she was doing her thing overseas. She was very vicious. She was downright brutal. And she was very fierce. WWE kind of stripped that away from Kairi Sane, in my honest opinion, by giving her the lovable cosplay gimmick of a pirate and just enhancing and kind of adding a little bit more theatrical sense to it from what she was doing on the indies. She's the pirate princess, but WWE, has her come out and it's amped up a little bit more so than we seen. In the Mae Young Classic, it was toned down. It was okay. Now I think WWE's going overboard with the gimmick, and a lot of people are turned away because they don't think Kairi Sane is serious. They look at her, they look at the way she's dressed, they look at the way she acts, how bizarre she acts sometimes, and it's like, I don't want to say it's a situation where you can't invest your feelings into that character or you can't relate to that character, but it's not the Kairi Sane that we want. We don't want another bubblegum, cookie cutter female that's going to, play a gimmick and it's going to be for the kids. You can still do that, but you need to have a sense of fierceness to the character. You got to have a sense of, I'm going to kick your fucking ass to the character. Kairi Sane finally did that yesterday. But is it too little, too late? I don't know what WWE has planned. On one hand, I want to see Shayna Baszler win this match. I really do. I think Shayna Baszler is fucking fantastic. I love Shayna Baszler, man. I really love Shayna Baszler. I'm looking at Shayna last night when I'm watching NXT, and I'm like, man, if I had my one choice of a bodyguard for myself, I'm picking Shayna. If I had one woman on the roster that I would want to have fucking drinks with at the bar, Shayna Baszler. She's fucking cool. She's tough. She's fierce. She has a no bullshit, I don't give a fuck attitude. And she plays a bully like WWE tried to portray with Alexa Bliss, which came off completely unbelievable. Shayna is the bully of the WWE Women's Division. And she plays it very well. She's a bitch. And I don't mean that in any negative way whatsoever. Shayna plays the bitch role perfectly. Who do you want to see teach the bitch, the bully, a lesson? And this is what I'm driving at. Do you want to see the pirate princess? Ahoy! Or do you want to see Candice LeRae? The babyface, the underdog. The one who will try after many failed attempts. Because she knows she can do it. I think the more WWE pushes Candice LeRae in that sense, I think we're going to want to see Candice LeRae beat Shayna Baszler. Kairi Sane, yes. The Mae Young Classic Finals, you got a story there from last year with the match at Brooklyn. But I'm not sure if I want Kairi Sane to win this match anymore. I think WWE may have missed the boat right now on Kairi Sane, and she definitely is in the wrong place at the wrong time. And if you wait on her a little bit more and start portraying her the way that we seen last night, I think people will invest in that more than what we've gotten so far. But if WWE wants to go with Candice LeRae beating Shayna after Shayna beats Kairi at TakeOver, I'm okay with that. Because then Shayna gets called up to the main roster. Because she's good enough to be there. How she's treated is a completely different story. They will probably fuck her up. Shayna is... Shayna's not old, but she's up there. She's Finn Balor age. She was 36, 37. She don't look it, but, the window is very small on getting Shayna the type of mainstream attention that WWE wants from her or for her. The window was small there. So the way she's progressed so far, I could see WWE moving Shayna up to the main roster. And I'm already hearing stories that Marina Shafir and Jessamine Duke are coming along at light speed. And you know WWE is going to want the 4 horsewomen, right where they need to be on the main roster. And with the rumors that I just reported, about the 4 horsewomen versus the 4 horsewomen feud at Evolution, Shayna Baszler being called up after a loss in Brooklyn is not out of the realm of possibility. Shayna could lose the championship to Candice LeRae and then get called up. I could see that happening before October. Then Candice LeRae can go on and fight Bianca Belair. And Bianca Belair could take the title from Candice LeRae. And then we can get Kairi Sane versus Bianca Belair. WWE certainly has some avenues that they could go through with the women. You got a lot of good choices there. The well is full of talent. So it's unlikely that WWE is going to make a bad decision. It's virtually impossible for them to make a wrong decision with the amount of talent that they have right now in the women's division. But the main thing is I think Kairi Sane may be in the wrong place at the wrong time. And we're finally now getting the Kairi Sane that we thought we were getting, and it may be too late. Because at this point, I'm not buying into Kairi. I'm already all in on Shayna. And it's going to be very difficult for me to, take my money off the table for Shayna Baszler. She's too good at what she's doing right now. You got to play the hot hand. Shayna is the best thing in that division, and you do not take the title off of the best thing in your division. Simple as that. I think I'm with the majority here. I think I want Candice LeRae in the title hunt more so than Kairi Sane. EC3 versus the Velveteen Dream was announced for TakeOver Brooklyn. EC3 went one-on-one with Kona Reeves. Velveteen Dream came out and explained to everybody that a certain someone is still harping on the fact and is still salty about what happened at Royal Albert Hall. So if EC3 wants to experience Dream, he can certainly experience Dream at TakeOver Brooklyn, Barclays Center. And that was that. So the match was pretty much made. EC3 was challenged. William Regal made the match. And there you have it. EC3 almost lost and almost suffered from dumb babyface syndrome. But he got the win over Kona Reeves. And Adam Cole versus Ricochet was also announced as well. The tag team division is certainly heating up in NXT. There's a lot of, movable parts in that division. War Raiders, we all know, are going to be vying for the tag team titles. This is a secret to nobody. I mean, you would have to be absolutely oblivious to NXT to not figure that one out. Mustache Mountain challenged the Undisputed Era again. That could be a Match of the Year candidate in Brooklyn. I think those two teams are going to tear the house down. Undisputed Era, again, the best thing in their division. There's no sense for them to lose the championship, so I do not expect Mustache Mountain to win at TakeOver. The money match clearly is Undisputed Era versus War Raiders. So we'll see what happens with that. Undisputed Era may be losing all their titles very soon. They may be title-less. But War Raiders are going to be there. You got Mustache Mountain, who I don't think are going to be a every week thing or a permanent thing in NXT. They may be a revolving door, and I hope we do see revolving talent in and out from NXT and NXT UK. But I think they'll go back over there, and I think they'll win those tag team titles over there because that brand is going to get its very own tag team title. So we got Mustache Mountain, War Raiders, Undisputed. We got Heavy Machinery. We got the Mighty, and we got the Street Profits. That's a good set of fucking tag teams right there, man. That's a good set of tag teams. The Mighty being the most boring of the teams. There's nothing resonating from them to me as a viewer. WWE tried to change their look. They changed their name. They changed their attitude from babyface to heel, and it's still not getting over. There's nothing about them that speaks to me as, oh, I want to see these guys wrestle, or I want to see these guys win. It's just like, oh, the Mighty are wrestling a tag team match. Street Profits, I love the Street Profits. They have an energy that is infectious. And you see that every time they come out. The crowd absolutely loves them. Mustache Mountain, they're respected. And they are respected for their work ethic. And that is always going to get over with that type of audience. War Raiders, they're over. They got a catchy fucking theme. They got a great look. They're brutal. They ran through literally everybody. So the fans are going to get on board with them because they are a demolition-like team. Heavy Machinery, they have great charisma. They are easy to like as well. Undisputed Era, I mean, they play heels, but everybody just fucking loves them just because of how they are. They're cocky pricks, and they're great at what they do. So it's tough to hate the cocky prick, knowing they're a heel, but they're so fucking good. So it's going to be interesting to see this tag team division develop over the next couple of months. And Undisputed and War Raiders are definitely the match that we are going to get. Not only that, but with the War Raiders and Ricochet teaming up, or War Raiders coming to Ricochet's aid last week when he challenged Adam Cole for the NXT North American Championship. And then Mustache Mountain got involved. That pretty much was I would say, seeds planted. It's WWE stirring that big pot of pasta sauce, and they're adding a dash of salt and a dash of pepper into that big pot. I could certainly see Ricochet and War Raiders be a threesome going into War Games. War Games, War Raiders, no brainer. Then you got Undisputed Era. You got Cole, you got O'Reilly, and you got Strong. And then you got British Strong Style. You got Mustache Mountain. You got Trent Seven. You got Pete Dunne. So War Games, if you're paying attention to NXT, War Games is already set up. And knowing that in advance, just imagine what Ricochet is going to do off atop of a War Games cage. Imagine what War Raiders are going to do inside a double steel cage. It's going to be fucking awesome. And I can't wait for that. So there's a lot of excitement around, certain storylines, and there's a lot of excitement around certain teams. And that's how you build a tag team division, and that's how you get your tag team division, to a point where there's excitement surrounding it. It's just good stuff. It's just good stuff. It's simple. Anybody with a logical brain can see what WWE is doing here. And it's tough not to get excited about that. So we'll see come November, but I would not give the War Raiders the title victory immediately. They got to chase. That's the whole thing now. We know that they're big. We know that they're tough. There's no doubt in my mind Undisputed is going to get past Mustache Mountain. They're going to continue that feud. War Raiders are going to be right there. Undisputed is going to do everything they can to not want to fight the War Raiders because, honestly, who the fuck would? But I could see Ricochet and War Raiders winning War Games, and then that would pretty much warrant War Raiders a tag team title match. Listen, we beat you at every step, at every game you played. So now it's time. Put up or shut up. So we'll see what happens with that. Adam Cole, I heard that Ricochet is increasing NXT live gate sales at their live events. I don't know if that means they're going to put the North American Championship on him, or they're going to put him in a world title situation. Right now, I'm not taking that title off Ciampa. I'm sorry. So I'm giving Ricochet a spotlighted role as North American Champion, and he can continue doing what they're doing with him in NXT. And then Adam Cole could move up to the NXT Championship title. I think that's the right thing to do. Other than that, man, NXT was pretty straightforward. It told and tied up some stories and advanced some to TakeOver in Brooklyn. And with that entire sequence last night at the end of the show, it pretty much confirmed, but did not confirm, that we're going to get a triple threat match for the NXT Championship as the main event. So we had the Mighty versus Heavy Machinery. This match went in Heavy Machinery's favor after the Street Profits came out and danced in the crowd. And they distracted the Mighty, which led to a trash compactor for Heavy Machinery to get the pinfall. And then the camera went back to the crowd, and Montez Ford was playing air guitar to Heavy Machinery's theme music. That was one of the best moments on the show last night. Man, that team is full of charisma, man. If that team is not vying for the tag team championships in the next 6 months, I think WWE might have possibly missed the boat on them too. You know? I hope that they're positioned, because that is the type of babyface team that people want to see succeed. And I hope that's the case there. Heavy Machinery gets the pinfall victory over the Mighty. Mustache Mountain was in a tag team match against two nobodies, Matt Knox and Brandon Taylor. They went for their finishing move. Seven lifted up Knox on his shoulder, and then it was that burning hammer knee off the top rope by Tyler Bate combination. That will do it. Mustache Mountain with the pinfall. After the match, Seven says we're back. Commentary really sold Mustache Mountain as being back and back to full health. The last time that they were at Full Sail, it didn't go their way, and he apologizes for that. Seven says he spoke with William Regal and that they have a plan. Bate actually says the Undisputed tried to tear them apart. And Tyler Bate explained that he had to throw in the towel because, you know, he stated that, listen, I didn't want to, but Trent Seven's health means the world to me. And they're like brothers. That's why he did it. It doesn't excuse the fact that he was made to look like a fucking goon, slightly. But at least he explained why he did it. So it doesn't look that bad, but it still looks kind of bad. There's still a small logic gap in there, you know. He could have easily got himself disqualified. Could have kept the titles. You know, he could have just gone that route. Say, fuck it. You ain't taking these titles from me. But at least they tried to explain why he threw in the towel. Bates says that they will be invoking their rematch clause for TakeOver Brooklyn. So TakeOver is slowly but surely taking shape. EC3 versus Kona Reeves. I don't know what it is with Kona Reeves. I don't know, man. I don't know what it is. I'm trying to pinpoint what I don't like about him, but I also on the same side, I don't want to complain. I don't know what it is about him. He's not speaking to me. This is over 2 months now. He's not speaking to me. It's not bad in the ring, but he's not speaking to me yet. I'm not really feeling the gimmick. And the tights, I don't know what it is with the tights. I don't know if they're loose or if they're baggy tights that he's wearing. Maybe it's the color. I don't know. There's just something about him I don't like. And it's not a good I don't like it. It's a bad I don't like it. But EC3 and Kona Reeves went one-on-one here. Dream says apparently someone, EC3, still can't get over what happened at Royal Albert Hall. Meaning EC3 was left hanging out to dry as Velveteen Dream left his partner. Dream says EC3 needs to come to the Dream if he wants the experience. Reeves then delivers his Hawaiian drop. Samoan drop. And covers EC3. EC3 kicks out. Reeves can't believe it. Stay down. Reeves starts yelling at EC3. Clearly EC3 didn't stay down. Lifts him up for the 1%er. 1, 2, 3. EC3 wins. Thank God EC3 didn't suffer a loss here. I would have not taken him as a serious threat at all. Even with the interference by Velveteen Dream. Velveteen Dream is very over here. You know, crowd chanting Velveteen. It's going to be very difficult for the WWE to not put a title on this guy. Whether it's the North American title, I could easily see Ricochet taking the North American Championship over Adam Cole and Velveteen Dream taking it over Ricochet. And then Ricochet moves on up to the main event. You know, right now it's funny. Adam Cole and Ricochet are challenging each other for a one-on-one match. They're going to be going one-on-one for the North American Championship. It's funny how I could see the North American Championship now being the NXT title feud months from now. And you just slide in Velveteen Dream as the North American Champion. See what happens there, man. I can certainly see that stuff happening. Baszler versus Candice LeRae, great match here. Great match by both. Baszler is so good. Candice LeRae, we all know what she could do. Towards the end of this match, we had LeRae leap off the top rope, hits a tornado DDT, 2 count. Both women are now on the second rope. LeRae tries for a move, but Baszler counters into a rear naked choke. They are right near the ropes, and LeRae is able to break the hold as she gets to the ropes. Baszler tries for it again. Counter, LeRae with a double stomp. Baszler gets planted. She tries for her lion salt, which is beautiful. Nobody's home. She misses it. Baszler with a penalty kick. Rear naked choke. Applied again. LeRae taps out. Post-match, Baszler jumps LeRae again. Locks in the rear naked choke. More refs getting there to break it up. Mauro Ranallo doing a fantastic job at selling the cowardly acts of a champion. Unchampion-like. Mauro, by the way, is going to be the announcer for the Mae Young Classic. Thank God. The Mae Young Classic is going to be far more superior this year than it is last year. Guaranteed. Kairi Sane runs out, tries to get to the champ. The refs break it up. Baszler heads out of the ring for a moment, but she's standing there in a way like she's not afraid of Kairi Sane. She's like, what the fuck are you doing? It's like a gnat that you're trying to swat away as he's flying around your fucking hot dogs and hamburgers outside your family barbecue. So, Sane turns to LeRae. Baszler goes over and kicks Sane. You know, just one of them, who the fuck are you type kicks, you know? Just to toy with her, just to fuck with her. So Sane is furious. We're getting that angry Kairi Sane now. Referees try to hold her back, and Baszler heads up the ramp, taunting her with the championship in hand for her takeover challenger. Mustache Mountain are asked about their upcoming takeover match, and they have tricks up their sleeve for Undisputed. They laugh that tricks aren't needed, or I guess the goon interviewing says if they have any tricks up their sleeve, and then they were like, we don't need tricks. Just look at what happened at Royal Albert Hall. We're going to do the same thing. You know, it's just good wrestling. War Raiders suddenly show up and they say that they've made it clear it doesn't matter who wins at TakeOver. They are taking the titles. So there you have more seeds planted for War Raiders being in championship discussion. Keith Lee is making his NXT debut next week, and I am very excited to see what he does. And it's going to be his first match in NXT on television. Very excited to see what he does. TOMMASO CIAMPA comes out to the greatest theme music of all. Nothing. Crowd booing. And he gets into the ring and he says this is his NXT now. Everybody's on their feet booing and just spewing hate at this guy, which is fantastic. Shut the hell up, chants. You suck, chants. And he's just smiling and staring at the title. He says this is what happens when the most dangerous man in NXT takes the head of the table. Ciampa heads out to the floor. And he goes over to Grandma NXT, who I think her name is Flores. She's an ex-art teacher, I believe, and she's a big wrestling fan. She looks like an absolute sweetheart. I mean, no ill will towards Grandma NXT. I just thought it was fantastic that TOMMASO Ciampa got in her face and threw the title in her face and says, I remember you. I remember you. Taunting her. You're an asshole chant is going on as he's just going over to Grandma NXT. So he goes to sit on the top rope after getting in Grandma's face. Oh, the title is so heavy, Ciampa says. He's the guy who finished off Gargano and Black. He's the only guy in the entire world to pin Black one-on-one. He says they can go on and bicker about who's second or who's 2A and who's 2B. Ciampa says there's a huge gap between number 1 and number 2. He's the main event. He's the champ. NXT is now and forever the A show. Mr. Ciampa, respectfully, I disagree with you. It was always the A show. You've just made it untouchable, my friend. Ciampa sits in the middle of the ring and he's taunting Aleister Black. Out comes Aleister Black, but Aleister Black is walking down the ramp in like a fucking beeline to the ring. Johnny runs right past Aleister Black runs through Black to get to Ciampa, knocking him out of the ring. Ciampa bails out through the crowd. Johnny Gargano on the mic says, "This is not your NXT, not while I'm still breathing. The only reason why you're NXT champ is because of me." So Aleister Black, like a fucking cool motherfucker, gets into the ring. He's looking at Johnny. Do what he got to do. Yeah, you could talk. You could talk. Johnny turns around and eats a devastating black mass right to the face. Obviously, the champ is not thrilled with Gargano costing him the title, or the ex-champ, rather. And the crowd starts chanting, "You deserve it," towards Gargano. Black takes the mic and says, and sits next to Gargano, mind you, "I guess you were right. The only reason why he's NXT champion is because of you." So Black stares at Gargano, who is still down on the mat, and heads out of the ring. And his music plays as NXT goes off the air. Great little segment between all three, which, like I said, inevitably sets up the NXT TakeOver Brooklyn #4 main event. A triple threat match between Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa, and Aleister Black. Another great edition of NXT. Love it, love it, love it. NXT TakeOver is looking phenomenal. Triple threat match for the NXT title between those three guys. Adam Cole versus Ricochet for the North American Championship. Velveteen Dream versus EC3. We have Kairi Sane versus Shayna Baszler. And we have Mustache Mountain versus the Undisputed Era Man. That is SummerSlam. Sunday night, August 19th, is Summer Scam. So please make sure you do whatever you got to do to watch TakeOver on August 18th. Great shit. I'm getting out of here, guys. Thank you so much. Off the Script will be live tomorrow, normal time. I might be taking a trip to New Jersey, so I don't know what's happening this weekend, but I will keep you guys updated, so please follow me on Twitter, at JDFROMNY206. Some personal reasons I'm going to Jersey. I'm not going to see Grimm. I'm not going to be on GTS, but I'm going to Jersey for some personal reasons, and it could be a good change for me. So we'll see what happens. So Friday you'll get Off the Script, but Saturday I'm not sure where I will be, and if I'm going to be recording on Saturday. So I might delay Off the Script on Saturday. If not, if I'm still in Jersey, I'll probably get a hotel room and do what I got to do and record there and give you guys your Saturday upload. But we'll see what happens. I'll keep you guys updated. Like I said, follow me on Twitter, at JDFROMNY206. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on that bell for all notifications. If you guys want to support the podcast, patreon.com/JDFROMNY206. If you guys missed my previous uploads, Off the Script concluded on Saturday and Sunday, so make sure you guys go check that out this past weekend. Raw, SmackDown Live, and I did an Off the Script Extra, where WWE officials feel that SummerSlam is lacking excitement. I wonder why. So we'll figure that out, and we'll figure this weekend out. So thank you guys so much. Go check those videos out, and like I said, follow me on Twitter, at JDFROMNY206. Thank you guys so very much. Hit that thumbs up on this video. It helps greatly with the SEO, the search of the video, and it helps the channel out immensely. Recommended channel to everybody that might not have eyes on the channel, so please hit that thumbs up. And I'll see you guys on Friday with episode 233 of Off the Script. I'll talk to you later.